streaming audio at ktlv1220.com.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are the views of the host and guests and not necessarily those of KTLV radio station. Any products endorsed on this program do not represent an endorsement by KTLV Radio, its staff, or management.
Good morning, Oklahoma City, and welcome to the Clara Luper Show. In a moment, your host, Clara Luper.
Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Father and
Surely. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy good morning to you, wherever you are. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and today I have a New Year's special for you. You may do what Calvin has often told you to do, call a friend, and tell them Clara Luper's on the air with a special New Year's program just for you. This program today will be brought to you by my sponsors, Carbon Realty Company, Roth Funeral Home, Temple Funeral Home, Adams Barbershop, Marie at Petite Salon, McKay Davis, Lamar's Beauty Supply, Allstate, Uniquely You Boutique, Johnson Chardinas, Sir Charles Attila, Ted Hamlin, and Rollins. Yes, this is a special. Mr. Carbon. And I would like to thank all of our sponsors for giving in today for my New Year's special. Thank you, Mr. Robert Gates. Thank you, Hometown. Thank you, Black Florist Company at 8485 Northeast 23rd Street, where you can order flowers for all occasions. That telephone number is 424-5715. Thank you, Allstate Insurance Agent Marilyn Hildred. And I just want to thank all of you. If you are in need of a new or used car, I want you to do me a favor. Call Rodale Hornbeak. He will put you in the car of your need. The telephone number is 282-2113. How do you close an old year and beckon in a new year? Many stories about years have been told. Many have been written. But today, as I look back through the years, I've had the opportunity to meet families of all kinds and all races. But God has given me an opportunity that I shall always cherish. And that is the opportunity to meet the Portwood Williams family. A family that's rare. I have known them through the years. In fact, I consider myself as a part of that family because their children are certainly my children. They lived in the 1700 block on Northeast Park Street. We lived in the 1800 block. Oh, I admired them. I admired their strength, their ability. And they stood out to me like shining stars. And their children, so bright, so intelligent, such a spark of sunlight. That was Shirley with bouncing eyes and fingers that could make a piano talk. That was Clay with a deep voice that could warm my heart. That was Portwood Jr., always smiling. And that was that baby Donda. Yes, this was the Portwood Williams family. Oh, I loved them. I admired their talent. And I remember their days at Fifth Street Baptist Church. I remember them in Sunday school and BTU, a church that was founded by their grandparents. Lucille, a secretary, a real secretary, a secretary that knew the members of Fifth Street Baptist Church by name and constantly stayed in contact with him. Portwood Williams bragging about his children, and other children became his children. I remember him quite well as a director of the BTU at Fifth Street Baptist Church. I remember his story. I remember when he said, I am the greatest. And that he surely was. Yes, the Williams family was very close to our family. And I've been rooted in that family. The family is a happy family. A family that remains dedicated to the principles of real familyhood. And there are many of you out there, especially those of you in Dial, Oklahoma, and Hoffman, Oklahoma, and Henrietta say, well, what is Clara talking about? I'm certainly not talking about your family because I don't know your family. I'm talking about a family that brought integrity and a sense of obligations to all around them. I'm talking about a family that could make you smile, a family with energy, a family with loyalty. And I thank God every day for giving me the opportunity to be part of that family. Yes, a family. How can you tell a strong family? You can tell a strong family by when trouble comes, that family stands. Oh, I remember Portwood and Lucille celebrated an anniversary. The kids sent them money from all over the country, and they gave that to Fifth Street and put in a gallery at Fifth Street. Oh, I remember those moments. And today, I would like to salute the Williams family. And I would like to tell you what has happened to that family this week. Clay is dead. Yes, Clay died this week. Her funeral services will be held Thursday at 1 o'clock at the 5th Street Baptist Church. It's located at 801 Northeast 5th Street. I want to repeat that to you. Clay is dead. Clay died this week. Her funeral will be held on Thursday at exactly 1 o'clock at 5th Street Baptist Church. Oh, you remember Clay, you remember her smile, you remember her deep voice. You know she was born in Oklahoma City on that windy month, March, but she was windy with love. She attended school in Oklahoma City and graduated with that proud class of 1955. Yes, graduating from dear old Douglas, she said. Yes, she was a lucky child. Graduated, went on, studied and finally graduated from Chicago State University. Born into a talented family. Born into a family where people loved each other. What a family. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have what has never been done on any radio show before. I have the family here with me. Oh, part of the family. That family extends so deep until it's unbelievable. And I saw people coming in from all directions. And I wish that some way I could make you feel family love as I have seen it in the years that I've known the Williams family. But let me tell you who I have here in the studio today. I have her beautiful sisters, Dr. Dawn West. You saw her son yesterday on Oprah's show. You saw him and you rejoiced. My granddaughter down in Texas was so happy to see. Oh, that was her dream. But Donda West is here. She's from Los Angeles, California. And then her beautiful sister that just admires. Oh, she makes me feel good every time I see her. Dr. Dr. Sullivan from Mobile, Alabama. Now, if you notice, I told you that Dr. West was from California. Dr. Scott, these are Portwood Williams' children. Dr. Sullivan from Mobile, Alabama. And I have here Dr. Stephen Scoggins from Bloomfield, Michigan, a grandson. And you're going to hear him sing today. I have Mr. Damian Dwaspak from Bloomfield Hill, Michigan. And then I have Corey Anderson, another member of the family from Colton, California. Yes, this is a Clara Luper radio show, and today's show is dedicated. And it's a show in which I say thanks to the Williams family. I would like first to introduce to you Dr. Shirley Sullivan.
Good morning. I often say, Mother dear, good morning. We're glad to be here, and we're always glad to be a family. We are the Roses, and we come together at all times. We're happy to be with you today and happy to say to Oklahoma City, come and share with us. It's been a long time. My sister and I were the first black people to be on television in the state of Oklahoma, and we'll always love Oklahoma.
I remember so well when you all were on television. Nobody could believe it. You were tell the people what you were doing.
My sister was a singer, and I was playing the piano, and Mother said then, you can't go to California, because we wouldn't have known. We were Oklahoma Cityans, but our children have stood on our shoulders. And now we have the Stephen Scoggins, we have the Kim Wallaces, we have the Kanye West, and they have just made us as proud. And we like to see you out there buying those tapes and really loving what this family is doing. We want to be an inspiration to everybody.
You are an inspiration to everybody. Now, the next one that I want to introduce to you is our baby, Thunder Williams West.
Good morning, Oklahoma City. I'm very happy to be back in Oklahoma City, certainly not for this occasion, but because it always warms my heart to be here. This is home, and Miss Clara Luper is just like a second mother to me. So every time I get the opportunity to be in her presence, I'm grateful. I thank all of you for being family to me, because you are Oklahoma City, where I was born and raised, and I shall never forget that. I am who I am, be it good or bad, because of this great city. And I say Happy New Year to all of you, and I say thank you so much to you, Clara Luper, because you have had such a huge part in my own personal development. Thank you so much. I just love you.
Thank you. And yesterday when I saw you on the Oprah Winfrey Show, I just jumped up. That's my baby. That's Thunder Williams. And I also saw you last night again. But here's a beautiful young lady. So young, so beautiful. And looks just like her mother. Don't you think, Shirley?
Yes.
She looks just like her mother. Kim, tell me about yourself.
Hi, Clara. In Oklahoma City. Hello. As you all know, I'm a dear old Douglas Trojan. Go Trojans! And it's just wonderful to be back here. It's wonderful to be home. I'm currently living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I just recently graduated from Barry University with my master's degree in social work. And it's just wonderful. And I think I have a letter from when I was very young, and I wrote a letter to my father about the NAACP and Clara Luper, and he wrote me back, and he talked about the responsibility that it took, and what it meant to be a member of the NAACP. And I will always remember that. I'll always remember you for that. I remember a book when I was very young that my grandfather, Portwood, showed me. What is
Behold the Walls.
Behold the Walls. Behold the Walls, and about how the sit-ins began and how that brought us to where we are today. And it's just wonderful to know that this is the family that I have come from. It's wonderful to know that my grandfather was the first driver, and that you organized it, and that my aunt and my uncle were a part of this movement, which is so much of our heritage. And I'm just proud to be a part of that legacy, and I'm proud to be my mother's legacy.
Well, thank you. Well, you're just as beautiful as you can be. Corey, tell me about yourself. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Clara Luper Radio Show. This is KTLV Radio in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And we are talking to you all over the state. And thanks for listening to me down in Texas.
Good morning, Oklahoma. My name is Corey Anderson. Not originally from Oklahoma City, but has it all the way in my heart. I'm from Colton, California, and hearing the bad news, I ran down here yesterday, 2 days ago, and it's a blessing to be amongst so many legends and seeing so much legacy. It's encouraging, and it's a blessing to be here today, and I thank you for you being who you are, Miss Clara Luper. Man, I'm not a big talker, so I want to say
you are a big talker.
I want to thank
you are a big man. What you say, Shirley says that is a big talker, right? They've never been without words.
So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. And speaking of thank you, Shirley, I would like for you to introduce this handsome young man for me. Would you be kind enough to do it?
This handsome young man is the one that I would always say as a child. That's mine, the one that's black and pretty. Because I wanted him to have the kind of complex he needed to have, and it certainly wasn't an inferiority complex. So I always say that this is my son, my youngest son, Dr. Stephen Scoggins.
Dr. Scoggins, how are you today?
I'm fantastic and very pleased to be in Oklahoma City. For the many years that I served the Oklahoma City Police Department here, I just feel a kindred spirit every time I return. I feel completely honored today to be a part of the family and also extend my fullest thank you, Miss Luper, for this special tribute. It's very rare that you can be a nephew and a friend. And I had that opportunity with my aunt. I clearly see a placard that I have at home that shows her as Little Miss Clay, that wonderful jazz legend. And I'm absolutely just proud, although certainly saddened by our loss. But I'm so proud to be sharing in the studio with you today and your listening audience.
Well, you're here, and we'll be back because I want them to tell you what they are doing. But now I would like to introduce another one of mine. Mr. Jones, how are you today? How are you today?
Miss Luper, good morning. It is so good to be here with you and also with members of the family. It just makes me feel so good to be part of this, and thank you for including me.
Oh, sure. You know I wouldn't exclude you because you told me what I did for you some years ago, and I shall always cherish that. Damien, you're here and you're part of the family. Tell me.
Yes, ma'am. I became a member of this family 10 years ago, and once you're a member of this family, you don't get out. You're part and parcel of the family, and it's for life. It's a wonderful, happy family to be a part of.
Thank you, and we'd like to welcome you to this family. Now, what I need to do is to remind you that Clay's funeral will be held on Thursday at 1 o'clock at the 5th Street Baptist Church. As part of my family salute, today I would like to go back to each one of these, and I want to know what you want to know. What are they doing now? What have they been able to accomplish? Why in the world would Clara Luper take the last Sunday in this month to dedicate to the Williams family? Shirley, give account of yourself.
Well, what I'm doing, I'm ministering in Mobile, Alabama, and a city called McIntosh, Alabama. You know, I really love working with children, and that's what I'm doing now. But I'm carrying this ministry along because I want us to realize that it's not about pie in the sky, and we're talking about spirituality rather than a religion. And the sooner we can get, especially our people, to know that you can't break your relationship with God. You can't let church come between you and God. And one of the last things that my sister said to me, and I want to always remember it, is laughter is a smile set to music. And so that's what we do as a family. That's what we do as teamwork. I also want to say those who want to sing with the family ensemble at my sister's celebration services on Thursday, we're asking that you be at 5th Street at 12 o'clock. We're bringing in our own musicians, and we'd like to know if you'd like to participate, please be at 5th Street at 12 o'clock. We're pretty prompt people because we move pretty quickly.
You have to in your business. At 12 o'clock, if anybody wants to sing with the family, they have to be at 5th Street at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Okay. Don't give and count yourself.
Well, Miss Luper, as you know, a year and a half ago, I retired from being an English professor. I had done that for the last 31 years. And I retired to become the general manager for my son, Kanye West. So I left Chicago and went to Los Angeles, where I now work for and with him. And people ask me, what does it mean, general manager? Oh, my goodness, what doesn't it mean? But as you know, the entertainment business is just very multifaceted and fast-moving. So it's my job to organize and create the systems that will help him in his upward climb. As we know, he's now a superstar, and I hope that as general manager have a little bit to do with that.
Okay, a little bit to do with it. You know, yesterday as we listened to Oprah and as we listened to your son, he said that the accident that he had changed his life. Will you tell us about it?
Yes, he was driving down Santa Monica Street in Los Angeles and fell asleep and crashed head on to another van, and he broke his jaw in 3 places, and we could have lost him, but God had something for him to do, and he knows that. So he, in understanding that, is doing what he's touched by God to do, which is to make music and touch people in a way, with hip-hop, which is, of course, the most popular genre of music today, but it hasn't always been very positive and uplifting. So he feels that part of his purpose is to make music that will inspire people and help them in whatever ways they need to be helped.
How did you feel? I tried to get into your feelings as he sang, "Hey, Mom." Tell me about that.
Oh, my goodness, it was just so gratifying. I don't know that I have the words to actually describe the feeling. Sometimes the feelings are more profound than the language, but certainly I was more than proud and just elated that not only did he have the talent to do it, but he had the desire and the will and the wisdom. So I was especially proud as any mother could ever be.
Is it true that you have a new home out in California?
Yes, it's very true that I was the proud recipient of a wonderful birthday present from Kanye, and it is a very wonderful home. I look out my living room window right to the Pacific Ocean, so I'm just really enjoying it.
I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma, and what we call homes, I grew up in a 2-bedroom house, and we didn't have a dining room. But tell me about your house. I just want to hear about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, my house it's a wonderful house. You have to go up a few steps to get to the front porch, and then you walk into a wonderful entryway. We just decided to purchase that house and redo it, but it has a like indoor-outdoor living space. So it's just gorgeous. It's a very open feel. It has a place where you can just entertain, places where you can meditate, places where you can go in the quiet hours of the night and be with your maker. And it's just a beautiful feeling with all the sunshine coming in. It's palm trees all around, and I don't know, Miss Luper, I think the best thing is for you to come out and visit me, and you'll see.
Okay, but one thing about that home, I heard that Clay came out to see that home. Tell me Clay's reaction to your home.
Yes, she did. She loved it from the time she walked in. I think it took me about 10 minutes to get her from the living room back to the next room because she was looking all around at everything, saying how much she loved it. And, of course, she's the master decorator, so she gave me some ideas that I will be implementing.
Are you telling my radio audience that your son gave you a home for a birthday present?
Yes, he most certainly did.
Oh, well, thank you. Now, let me go to this baby. Tell me about yourself and what you're doing.
As I was saying earlier, Miss Luper, I'm currently a social worker in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And one of the things that I think is important for people to know is the actual role of a social worker. I know that a lot of times social workers have, there's a bad connotation to the whole profession. However, you know, our my goal is to be able to give a voice to the voiceless and to be able to inspire people to do better than what they're doing, no matter where they are in life, is to be able to do better and to strive to reach your highest good. I'm currently a case manager, but what I also do is that I provide a therapy called traumatic incident reduction, which
don't take me too fast. It's called what?
Traumatic incident reduction, and what it is, it's a technique for people, for victims of trauma, and for each trauma, it's just that one session, and that trauma is over with. It's not something that you have to go back for years and years trying to resolve what has happened, and that's the beauty of it, and I'm so glad to have this opportunity to share in my mother's voice that there is something that can be done for people who are victims of trauma, and they know that whatever has happened, that they don't have to carry that around with them for their life, that there is a means of healing out there, and through healing is how we can exhibit our greatest good and let God shine through us, because once we have something that is clouding our light, we can't shine. So, it's so wonderful to have that opportunity to share that. And what I also do, I do motivational speaking for women, gender and ethnic pride, as well as for children. So I'm just so excited and so proud to be able to share that, and to also share that my mother was such a supportive role in helping me to achieve that.
How did you get to Fort Lauderdale, Florida?
I graduated from the University of Texas at El Paso, and I applied for a job with the Centers for Disease Control, and I got it. I was a chosen candidate. Thousands of people actually applied for that job. It's a federal position, and I got chosen, and they said, well, you can go to either California or Chicago. And being the grandchild of Portwood Williams, I said, I'd like to go to Florida. And they said, well, you can go to LA or Chicago. And I said, well, I'd like to go to Florida. And they said, well, I'll call you back. And they called me back and they said, you can now, I don't have any job. I don't have a job at this time. And they tell me, you can go to LA or Chicago. And I said, I'd like to go to Florida. And they called me back and they said, okay, we have a spot for you in Florida. So I went to Florida, and I was 23 before I ever saw the ocean. And I tell you, it's amazing how you can go on New Year's Day and stand on the beach in your shorts and flip-flops and call your friends in New York and say, hey, guess what I'm doing? So it's absolutely a beautiful place to be. It's absolutely a beautiful place for me to be able to live out my intentions. And it's so important that when we live life, that we live it with intention, to share good, to do what I'm doing, which is to help other people who have not found their voice to have a voice.
Oh, thank you. Corey, tell me about yourself. This is the Clara Luper radio show.
I currently just started film courses for my film degree in post-production. And I am
in what?
In post-production film.
Yes, what does that mean?
For a filmmaker, editing, post-production, pre-production.
Okay,
for film.
Okay.
And I currently just got asked back to go to the Grammys for 2006. So I will be with
what
Access
now?
Hollywood.
You've what now? You've got to realize that I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma.
Okay. I currently got asked back to go back to the Grammys for Access Hollywood. So I'll be at the 2006 Grammys.
You said go back. You've been before?
I went this year, 2005.
Oh, I see.
To work with Access Hollywood.
And you have been invited to go back?
Yes, ma'am. So I will be there in February 8th, with Kanye West. So I will be there February 8th.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Do you work for Kanye West?
No, I don't. I work for Access Hollywood, NBC, Channel 4.
Oh, I see.
In
we have
California.
several family members who do work Kanye West.
Okay.
You have to be qualified. Just because you're a family member, you don't
get a job. No, you have to be qualified. Oh, well, give me a report on you, Stefan.
Well, Ms. Luper, again, I feel completely attached to Oklahoma and through the family, there are expectations in this family and even requirements. And sometimes it's said, well, that puts too much pressure on someone. Well, if that's the case, then you can't be a Williams.
Repeat that. Repeat that, Bobby.
Because of the requirements and expectations of the family, it is said that sometimes that puts too much pressure on someone. And I'm saying that if that is in fact the case, then you cannot be a Williams. I have found that my career started early as a registered nurse. I finished high school in Tulsa, Oklahoma at 15 years old. And I started as a registered nurse, went on my master's in public health and my doctorate in public health. But now I have a behavioral health and motivational center that's called ESTEAM. That's an acronym for Establishing Skills to Elevate Employment and Motivation. I have the largest center in Michigan. For anyone who is arrested for domestic violence or anger management, they are required to attend my center. Fortunately, they have to attend for a minimum of 6 months weekly. And that allows an opportunity to effect a change, because it is so easy for us to finger point at someone and say who has done what to you. And I've watched my aunt, Clay Jones, many times with the Department of Corrections for 25 years, literally minister to clients on accountability. And I took the lessons and times that I've spent with her and incorporated in my own development and curriculum. And I have found that through her experiences and how she has been able to teach me, which is what we do as a family. We literally pass the torch from one generation to another, and we take with us our needs, fears, and insecurities, and we make the next generation that much stronger. And as a psychologist now, in working and writing and developing programs, I take my family's history into that curriculum. Some of it, when you watch different therapists working, they are literally academicians in ways, but I have to bring that emotional piece to it, because you go with you wherever you go. And Miss Luper, when you mentioned that you're from Hoffman, Oklahoma, you may be from Hoffman, but you absolutely are completely absorbed in this entire world. There are people from all over every place that I traveled. They want to hear about Clara Luper as if it was the football celebrity star. They want to hear about Clara Luper. You mean you actually know her? I said, do I know her? I've eaten her cooking. So it is absolutely an honor that you even understand that to...
For working in your center?
Yes, ma'am. Again, the center is a behavioral health and motivational center, and what happens is there are many different aspects of our lives that we find. You may come for a domestic violence arrest case, but what happens, there are many ingredients in our lives that makes us who we are. Those ingredients of having a plan, of planning your work and working your plan, of setting boundaries, of having goals. And in this center, I have a full staff, and I have different facilitators. And on a weekly basis, Tuesdays and Saturdays in Detroit, Michigan, clients come and they are able to be guided into the plan of action and their responsibility. Responsibility and accountability, and responsibility and authority cannot be separated. And many times people want all the authority and no responsibility, and it can't work that way. So when you are ready for the challenge of being having the authority, you better be ready for the responsibility.
Amen, brother.
Thank you. Damon, tell me about you. What are you doing?
I had been a Detroit public school teacher in science for 12 years, and then I joined the ESTEAM program, and I'm running the office for the ESTEAM counseling program in Detroit, Michigan. I've been doing that now for about 7 years.
I didn't know your center had been operating for 7 years.
It's actually, Ms. Luper, been around longer. actually for 10 years. And I started in Oklahoma City. It actually came to fruition when I was in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm. As an officer in the military, I was in the reserves, and I was called to serve in Desert Storm. And while I was there, and Scuds and Patriots were intercepting, and people were crying and filling sandbags, my commanding officer said, "How do you do it?" And I said, "Do what?" "How do you stay so calm?" I said, "Well, you may see me sitting here by myself, but I'm not. My grandparents are here. My aunts and uncles are here. My higher power is here." And I developed esteem literally there. While there was nothing but sand and tents, I understood that we don't have the luxury of having a nervous breakdown. I just don't have time for it. And so I had to package a program, and that program was this 17-year-old kid. I don't even know where he is today, but what he said to me was, if I could have a dose of this every day, I think I could make it. And then in thinking in the spirit of my grandfather, yes, you can. And that's how Esteem actually started over 10 years ago.
I'm very concerned about you in Detroit because every time I go to Detroit, I'm happy to get out. So many people live in those packed apartments and what have you. Where do you live in Detroit?
I'm actually in a suburb of Detroit in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. And it's interesting because there are a lot of misinformation with Detroit. Everyone thinks, oh, I heard it was just broken down. Well, we are the host for this year's Super Bowl, so we can't be but so broken down. We are the host of the largest national car show in the world, so it can't be but so broken down. And even with my being a top African American, I say it in that way because it's often said, even in the black community, that if you become successful and you move to the suburbs, then you are not representing. Yes, I'm representing best by setting an example.
Oh, I see. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and I know I have calls out there, and if you all would just be tolerant of me today because I haven't had this opportunity in my life before to talk to so many successful people at one time, I hope that you will forgive me, and I hope that those of you that are calling in will understand. One of the questions that has come in that someone's waiting on an answer, what is the key to family success? Okay. What is the key to family success? My public wants to know.
One of the keys we use is that of love. And we're not talking about the word love. We're talking about an action verb. And so that's our primary key, to know whenever we need one another, just say it. And we're there as quick as possible. And you'll say, well, what if you can't get there? You plan for it. You plan for that.
And Mother, I will even piggyback on what you're saying. From my perspective, one of the keys is how you all literally teach us that love. I watch even now with my grandfather spending time with his great-grandson. It looks like a repeat of when he takes you to swap meets and when he sits there and raps with you. And even for a grandfather to walk up to you when you're 4 and 5 years old and he said, let's rap. Let's just sit and rap. And even teaching us what rap means and teaching us what hustling means and watching how my grandmother literally looks and sees where you are. If it's that she's being supportive of you, if she's telling you how to have structure, if she's talking about the management of a decent meal, that to me is a part of that love, because many people don't have that. It's every man for himself, and it's not that way in this family. You always know, even if you feel you're at your lowest and alone, that everyone is right there with you.
You got a comment?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll comment that one of the keys to a successful family is practicing what you preach. And both my mother and father preached something that was just invaluable. And they didn't just say go to church. They took us to church. They didn't just say love your neighbor. They loved their neighbor. They didn't just say give of yourself and your full soul. They did that. My mom was always the first to console someone if they lost a loved one, or to just be there in the good times and the bad. So it was by example that we learned to be a strong and successful family.
And again, it all comes by love, and love in terms of agape, which is is unconditional God's love. Because we're not here saying that we don't have the problems that families have, but when we do, the other word that we have learned is forgiveness.
That's a good. Mrs. Hunter's on the telephone, and I better let her talk. Hello.
This is Luper and those who are listening to us in Radio Land. And I want to say Happy New Year to all of you there, because I didn't want to miss that, because on tomorrow it will be New Year's Day, and I know you're getting ready for your New Year's dinner and all of that. Excuse me. And I do want to let the Williams family know that my heart go out to that family. And Mrs. Luper, I just want to say this. When you were asking something about what makes for a good family, it's really the togetherness that they have. Because I remember last August we were having our Freedom Fiesta breakfast, and I had invited Mr. Portwood to come in and be the guest speaker to tell us something about the city and movement. And Mr. Portwood didn't come by himself, but he brought his 2 daughters there. And the person that was supposed to play for me didn't show that day. And I said, I need someone to play. And I said, I know you don't want me to get up there and play for the fellowship. And Boris came and said, well, there is a person. And that person immediately moved to the piano, and her fingers moved across that ivory. And you could just get the music of what a friend we have in Jesus, and what a fellowship. And not only did she play the song that was on the program, in intermission times she played and her sister sang. And I do want her to know that greatly, and I appreciate that, and I talked about it a great deal. So I was saying that Mr. Portwood didn't come by himself. His family was there, and they came with him because they are a supportive family. They said, our daddy's going to go to speak, and we're going to support him by being there to listen for him to speak. I know he didn't know that they were going to be on the program, but I appreciate their participation, and I appreciate the music that they furnished me, because it really made my breakfast light up like a bright candle.
Well,
and I want to say, I know you want to talk with some more of those people.
Yes.
But I want to say to my audience, remember, tomorrow is a New Year's Day, but go to church on Sunday.
Okay, thank you,
bye
lady.
Now.
Thank you, and bye now. Yes, you may say something.
Miss Luper and family, I was Clay's friend, and so I'm part of the extended family as such, but we had these kinds of discussions. She loved her family so much. She talked about all of them, and not just about their achievements, because these things are so important for everyone and for every family, particularly for black families. But aside from the achievements and all of the accomplishments, she talked about her family from the sense of love and what was on the inside of each and every one of them. And that is where it counts too. That was so special. We talked about unconditional love and what that meant. And she loved each and every one of her family. But the difference was, it was just not love itself, but it was the unconditional aspects of love. That was the thing that meant the most, I think, to her. The other thing that we talked about one day, we were talking about forgiveness, believe it or not. And we both came up with this definition of forgiveness together. We thought that forgiveness really is, and I quote, something that you do for yourself and not just for the other person. And I thought that was so sweet coming from her because that was her philosophy. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you so very kindly. For the next 12 minutes, we are going to talk about one of mine, Clay. Tell me about Clay as you saw it as a sister.
I can tell you about it. We were always, always best friends. And even as children, people kind of said Shirley and Clay. We went to everything together. We just did everything together. And until this trip, I didn't realize really how much we did together because she wasn't available to go all the places that we went. And I mean, we went some places. Everything from the flea market. That was usually her and Daddy doing that. But as a sister, the thing I loved most about Clay was her directness. If there was something she didn't particularly care about, you were going to know it. She wasn't going to play games. You were going to know if she didn't particularly care for a person, she just kind of stayed out of the way. But she was just a fair person, an honest in spirit person, a growing person. We some time ago carved almost every aspect of religion out of our lives and start concentrating on spirituality and how we really related to God. And that just made us even tighter. And so I always have my sister, and I always want to honor her because she was a person who certainly deserves to be honored. The people that she worked with these many years, the things that she did, she was more concerned with keeping on. And so she'll serve as a great inspiration for young people who want to do something. And that's your choice, whether or not you want to do something with your life. So that's what she meant to me as a sister, a very loving, considerate person.
Now from her baby sister.
Well, Miss Luper, let me say that, first of all, I could not have had a better sister. There would be no way that she could have been any more loving, any more giving. She was just that kind of person. And from almost before I can remember, she's always been there for me. She always spoiled me because she's a few years my sister. I was my senior. I was the baby sister. And I always remember her as just a person who loved just so fully. And one of the things that I like best about her, and I don't know if this served her well, but it certainly served all of us, she always put others first. She seemed to, if anybody was troubled, even if she had something on her mind, she would move away from that and be comforting to you. I can even remember when her oldest son passed, Bill, and I was so distraught, and she herself got on the phone and said, "That's okay, it's going to be all right, we're going to get through this." And she was comforting me, the aunt, when she was the mother. But Clay was just like that. She would always put her feelings aside, and she would try to make sure that you had whatever it was that you needed. So I'll always remember her for that, and for so many other things. So she is just somebody who has always been so very dear to me, and she'll always be dear to me, and in my heart she'll always remain that way.
Thank you. Now Kim.
Wow. I mean, I was on the phone when they pronounced her having made her transition, and the nurse said she was a remarkable woman. And she was. She was a remarkable woman, and she still is a remarkable woman because she will continue to live through all of us. And again, just like Aunt Donda said, she would give you her last. And I would continually beg her, "No, Mother, you take this. You go. Don't worry about if I go. You go. I want you to have a wonderful time. I want you to enjoy this. I want you to enjoy that." But the other part is that she was one of those links that kept this family together, because that's what she always wanted. Let's do this together. I want you here. She never wanted anyone to be excluded out of anything. So she was just a remarkable woman, and she has overcome so many obstacles that a lot of people were not able to do, and I am so proud of her for that. I am so proud of her for passing on that legacy to me. Just very remarkable and wonderful person, and unfortunately I was not able to be there with her when she made her transition, but we had some wonderful conversations on the phone, and as always, before we hang up, we say, I love you, and this last time I said, I love you, and I said it so differently than I said before, and everything is always in the divine order, but I have to thank God that she was my mother, and she was a remarkable, and still is a remarkable woman. Yeah, and I'm sure after my time is over, I'll think of a million other things to say, but I just want to take the opportunity to thank you for giving us the opportunity to give my mother this tribute, because she very much deserved it. Very much deserved it.
Thank you so very kindly. Let's go. I want to go to Stephanie. Yes.
I'll tell you, Miss Luper, to me, my aunt, there's a big billboard on I-35 when I was driving in that says, size doesn't matter. And my aunt absolutely solidifies that big things really do come in small packages. She was always known as being so pretty, because she is. I will just go ahead and, as the young folks say, keep it real, she was outright fine. And in that small stature of hers, she had much more strength and guts than many of us combined will ever have.
This is a Clara Luper radio show, and I would like to thank my sponsors today for giving away. Many of you are waiting on the chitlins and the turkey and the ham that I was going to give away. I'm going to do that next week. But rather today, I wanted to do something that's very close to my heart. I wanted to say thank you to God for giving me the opportunity to know the Williams family, and especially Clay. Not only that, I wanted to remind you that her funeral will be Thursday at exactly 1 o'clock at the 5th Street Baptist Church. Now, 5th Street Baptist Church is located at 801 Northeast 5th Street in Oklahoma City. Yes, she's the daughter of Portwood and Lucille Williams. Okay, Stephen, will you please just sing a song for me?
Yes, ma'am.
His eye is on the sparrow.
Yes,
Would you
ma'am.
do that?
Yes,
for
ma'am.
me? Oh, will you do that for me? Thank God for this family. Yes, we believe in music. This is a musical.
Why
song.
should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. And I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. As I hold the stay, and I know He watches me. Oh, His eyes hold the stay, and I know He watches. I'm clay, I know He watches. I know He watches on me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. As I hold the I know He watches me. Oh, His eyes hold the I know He watches me. Oh, He watches me, and I know He watches me. Yeah, yes. We love you, Aunt Clay.
Yes, that was in memory of Clay Williams Jones. You've been listening to the Clara Luper Radio Show, and I would like to thank my sponsors for giving us this opportunity today. I know you understand, and I would like to thank those of you out in Radio Land all over this state for listening. I hope that our program today has given you a little more strength, a little more will to do God's great work, and that's what this family is doing. And I would like to say thank you for the family. You came to the family, you brought food, you sent cards, you sent flowers, and that family is very grateful. And on behalf of the Williams family, I would like to say thank you. I would also like to say thank you for those of you who remembered me during my eye surgery. You've been very kind, you've been very understanding, and you know I appreciate it, and I love you. Now I have one announcement. Today at 12 o'clock, there'll be a bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. And for the first time, a member of our family will be playing. And that member of our family will be Anthony Germany Jr. If I could get Calvin to come in and tell you his number. I don't know his number, but I know that all of the Germany family is in Memphis, Tennessee. They came from Tulsa, Texas, Oklahoma City. They left in a caravan of vans headed to Memphis, Tennessee. And I would like to thank those of you that have supported Anthony from Putnam City on to Tulsa University and all. And once again, I would like for you to write this down. If you want to sing with the Williams family, be at Fifth Street Baptist Church at exactly 12 o'clock on Thursday. The funeral will not be held until 1 p.m. I want you to remember that. And I would like to thank you. And I know that people will be calling and they want to know how to get in contact with the Williams family. Do you think we should give that telephone number? How should we have it?
Fine. We're at our parents at 4117 Spring Lake Drive, and that phone number is 427-2308.
Yes, this has been the Clara Luper Radio Show, and whatever you do, stay out of trouble. I tell you every week not to steal, not to kill. And as the year closes, I remember the words of my grandmother, who used to make us raise our black hands to the sky every morning and say, with these black hands, I will not steal anything from anybody. I will not kill anything. I will not kill anybody. And although my grandmother sleeps in yonder's world, in yonder's grave, her thoughts live on. I would like to once again thank the Williams family, because you've given me a new leash on life. You have shown and you have proven to the world that a family can produce. And if you have ever known Portwood and Lucille Williams, I think Dante put it, they didn't send us to church, they took us to church, and they didn't say, when you say you couldn't do anything, they say, do it anyway. Portwood Williams tells all of his children and grandchildren, you are the greatest. It was a grandchild up there yesterday who had been on television in Texas, and I spoke to him and everything, and that little old brat told me, I'm good. Yes, this is Clara Luper, and on behalf of all of us and the Williams family, let's say Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year!
Thank you, and may God bless each of you.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Clara Luper Show. Join Sister Clara Luper here each and every Saturday from 9 until 10. And until next Saturday, may God bless you.
And the views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were not necessarily those of AM Radio 1220 KTLV.